We've left behind a bright red week for the American stock markets. As we enter the last 2 months of the year, is there a possibility of a Santa Claus rally, or will the bear market deepen as we break below the 200-day moving averages, making things even more dramatic? We'll discuss this and more in the second video of the week. Let's get started with the market and current affairs review. You know, every week I shoot 2 videos, and in the second one, I take a look at the American stock markets and a bit at cryptocurrencies. In cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, we've left behind a very positive week. We'll discuss that. But before, as you know, we've been commenting on the general picture through the lens of the Nasdaq, the father of Bitcoin, which is the largest index of the whole system, composed of the world's biggest tech companies. I've been explaining how pessimistic I am about the overall picture and how the rise might not be sustainable. We've delved into this in detail each time. However, many people don't quite understand what I mean, so they look at the data and say, "Look, this is good, and look, that's flying high." In reality, it's very different from what's being shown to you. You can see that the big picture I outlined when I started this channel is unfolding step by step. Unfortunately, we've now arrived at the hot wars phase, and in this environment of hot wars, stagflation is inevitable. Well, you might say, but there's 4.9% growth in America. However, when you examine the data in detail, you see that there's actually no growth in many sectors, and the growth in this quarter is due to companies inflating their stocks because of the high inflation wave. They're producing and inflating stocks, especially buying excess raw materials to protect against inflation. But when you look at the sales side, there hasn't been much improvement, especially in critical markets like the housing market in America. We see that the retail marketing sector is also doing very poorly, and many investment banks are pulling back their expectations of a recession until the fourth quarter. Now, whether a recession will occur or not, after all the steep declines, a recession is priced in more comfortably. So, there's no probability of officially entering a recession in 2024, but let's see how we can make money from the markets in any case. I've been talking for weeks about most American stocks going down, with only 7 stocks manipulated so beautifully that they've inflated the market. In general, it seems like everything is going well, like the American economy is doing great. But when you look at other companies, you'll see a very gloomy scene in the indices. And since we've come to the end of the rise in those very few stocks, now the markets are turning red, and red screens are increasing. Let's quickly gather the stocks as follows.